I mean, he's in a lot of people's all-time Premier League 11s on that right side. I think he's got that pretty much nailed on. I mean, you always have Henry on the left, I think, on that one, and Shearer in the middle. People may argue Rooney, Drogba, but Salah's always there on that right side for people. Welcome to episode 12 of the Football podcast. I'm joined by James Wheatley and Darren Moth. How you doing, guys?
Hello, how you doing? You
all
alright?
All good.
Yes, all good. Certainly lots to catch up on this week. Goals galore. Absolutely fantastic. We didn't get the Chelsea-Spurs game in last week, unfortunately. That was a big miss, really.
Yeah. It was nice to watch it. I mean, I was working throughout, but I actually sat there and watched the full, 120 minutes of it. It was,
It's kind of ideal in a way because the podcast have been ridiculously long. We probably could have done one on its own.
A VAR special.
It was, yeah. The ball was in play for 23 minutes in that first half, which says a lot, really. But it was a great game, and it was quickly followed up this weekend by a lot more. Again, involving Chelsea. We'll dive straight in there. 4-4. And, none of us predicted that. I mean, Moffy was the closest. He did have it down as a draw, but he had 2-2. I had it down as 2-1 Man City, although you wrote it down as 2-1 Chelsea. You weren't too impressed with that. And, you had it as 3-1 James. But
I write what people say.
Yeah.
It must have been accurate.
I tell you, but, I mean, it all stemmed down to, in the end, we'll go straight with Cole Palmer. How have Man City allowed him to go there? We said, I was listening to some of the old podcasts earlier to do our score predictions, to a table. And we were discussing earlier on in 1 and 2 how they can't let him be sold. He should just be loaned out, and that's exactly what they've done because he's a hell of a player.
Yeah, he's obviously he's doing good things for Chelsea. Scoring penalties, which is obviously what they need. Getting goals, so you can't really ask much more of him at the moment.
And you can't blame him. He's 21. He knows he's got the ability to break into the first team. Obviously, look at the situation, it's Doku and Palmer. I mean, both are really great players.
That was Pep's argument. They wouldn't now have Doku if they didn't sell him, but they could still live to regret that in a way because, I suppose he could be classed as another Foden as well. I mean, that's his position also, but he was involved in absolutely everything that Chelsea done well. Him and Sterling anyway, because again, I think he deserves a good shout out because how he's still not in the England squad is beyond me as well. But, has he been called up now, Sterling, or not?
No, not as far as I'm aware.
Palmer was today, though, wasn't he? I think.
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah.
But yeah, what a game that was. I mean, start off. Who scored at first? It was Haaland, wasn't it? Who opened the scoring?
With the penalty.
Was it a penalty?
I mean, yeah, he's all over him. I mean, you're inside the box. One thing you don't want to be doing is you always get contact with people that try and sort of get their arms, a bit of leverage, but when you start trying to hold on to someone, it's only going to take. Haaland's only going to go down anyways if he wanted to. It's always going to be a penalty. So, there was enough contact there to be given. So
the only thing it just seemed, City seemed to be getting these rewards. I'll go back just to Luton Liverpool the week before with the Van Dijk one getting rugby tackled to the floor on a corner, and that wasn't even looked at. So the way the consistency goes again, doesn't it? And it's very frustrating.
Yeah, I mean, we talk about it week in, week out about the inconsistency when it comes to a lot of these decisions, but I think that's always going to be the case in the Premier League. You've got different referees each game, different fourth officials, different people on VAR. You look at stuff and you think, how is that not a red? How's that player, not been carded for that? And like I say, it just leaves people frustrated by the inconsistencies. But
I always say there's opinions, but half the time it's not opinions. It's, you're set by sort of rules and how things are meant to be. If you know what I mean, obviously.
Well, it's less opinion. It's more interpretation, then, isn't it? Yeah. How each individual referee interprets a certain situation, and that's where you're going to get the inconsistencies, unfortunately.
Apart from that, I mean, Chelsea going hammer and tong, giving it to City. For me, City just looked a bit. I don't know. Obviously, the treble winners. I mean, they've been still quite hot start of the season and that, but they a bit sloppy in possession, gave the ball away quite easy and cheap, and and probably didn't like the fact that Chelsea were at them.
Well, that's the
didn't
thing.
have their own way,
You
did they?
can get at City if you're willing to go at them. Really,
Yeah.
there's a few teams have tried it this season. Obviously, Man City have actually now dropped points because of it. And yeah, Chelsea, look at with that midfield, like it was mentioned many a times during the game. There's a couple of 100 million midfield there. You'd expect them to be up there in that battle. Pretty much, that's how they did do as well as they did. Caicedo having quite a good game actually. Enzo done okay, but they broke play up. But Sterling, he's fantastic. He really gave Walker a hard time. I know it's against a former club, so we proper up for it as well. And
I think one player you failed to forget there is Gallagher.
Absolutely.
He's so underrated in that team. He's pressing and he's off the ball. Credit to him as well. Caicedo and Enzo were taken off, and he was still on the pitch, and he was leaving everything on it. And
that speaks volumes.
It does.
Enzo was taken off.
And no one really talks about him and that, but he literally put a shift in.
Well, he was their captain for a while, wasn't he? While Reece James was out.
Well, he was captain, yesterday, he really put a graft in yesterday. Obviously, that's his type of game as well, and he loves to put the pressure on, and he's the type of player that you want doing that sort of thing. But obviously, the Reece James free kick was well saved. Obviously, it was the lead up to Chelsea's goal, wasn't it? I believe.
It was a corner, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Thiago scored the corner. It's maybe something they worked on because they did Cucurella was blocking,
really impressive.
and then Thiago run forward and was free, left alone, and it was a tidy header into the far corner really. It's, definitely got Chelsea going again, and then Haaland puts them 2-1 up, and you're like, oh, here we go. I mean, just that didn't last long. Typical. But Chelsea weren't ever backing away.
No, they kept at it. And
But with that Haaland goal, I must say, how frustrating was it? How many times they checked for that VAR to see if he touched his elbow? Come on, for fuck's sake. He's slidden past. Well. He's slid past it, and the ball's rolling behind him. He's no idea where that ball is. Even if it had touched his elbow, it still should have been given. He definitely didn't do that on purpose, and it's just the ball's caught up with him.
He just fumbled the ball in with his whole body, isn't he? The way
Well, he asked it in, didn't he?
Yeah.
Literally, some strikers need to hit a goal to go in off the arse, and he does it to show off, I think. But no, he's so dangerous. Gets in those positions as soon as that ball comes across. You know exactly what's going to happen there anyway. But class. I mean, I did say he wouldn't score against the bigger teams, but he's still.
Chelsea haven't necessarily been the bigger team this season, though, have they? So
yeah, but come on. Come on.
We've said before, it was only a matter of time before it starts to click for them because they create chances still and they're always still a threat. It's just obviously
it was a far better Chelsea performance than I think it was against Tottenham.
Oh yeah, I mean Chelsea for some bizarre reason just kept trying to do that same ball over the top. Spurs were doing that high line, catching them out, and it wasn't until Cucurella decided, I'll just run from deep. And then they were like, oh, actually, a few of us might be able to do this. Or, and I was screaming out saying, why don't Chelsea just keep it for 5 minutes instead of keep trying that ball instantly, then play it, and then all of a sudden try that trigger. And that's exactly how they got that second goal at the end. And, worked wonders for them. But again, it's something kind of similar. I mean, Sterling scored a pretty much Man City goal, really, with a tap in at the far post. Nice cross for him. And another easy goal, which has always been his bread and butter, really. Just tapping in nicely.
Yeah, they looked a bit shaky at the back, City, didn't they? I mean, the Sterling goal, is it Gardeval?
Carvalho.
Yeah, he couldn't get his feet sorted. I think he was obviously relying on the player that was running out wide. Obviously, that he misread it, and that's where they sort of got the cross in there. But yeah, they just looked a bit sluggish.
I don't think Pep's done his confidence any good, really, because he was saying because he bought him originally because he's predominantly a centre back, and he was saying I'm not playing him there yet because he isn't quite up to speed with what we want. As a centre back for this club, so we're going to keep playing him left back. But left back's not the easiest role to play. He's a dominating centre back, but he's done okay with it. But and then that happens, and then it's going to highlight him a bit more at left back. I mean, I'm licking my lips at the thought of Salah going up against him in a couple of weeks' time. Obviously now we've got the international break, but
do love an international break, don't we?
Oh yeah, absolutely. some clubs will welcome it, some others won't. But yeah, I mean, the second half, you thought again. Oh, here we go. Within like a minute, City go back ahead. You're like, really, just hang out a little bit longer. But I mean, who was that? That was it was Akanji, wasn't it? Yeah, Akanji from the corner. Left totally unmarked.
Them things were just out of the blue, though. They were completely out of the game because Chelsea were dominating, and then all of a sudden, just like you say, just like that, City just like flip the switch and they get that ride of luck and they score a goal. You know what I mean? It's like
it's just their quality, though, isn't it?
Yeah, it is their quality, but it is very frustrating when you think when there's a team that are really playing out of their skin, and obviously, they were the better team in my eyes, if you know what I mean. Just how they can just sort of just have that moment where it just happens.
If you miss a tackle, that's why the midfield's so key. If you give them too much space or you miss a tackle or anything, you're in trouble. There's a few moments picked up on Match of the Day I watched earlier, and where they do get a free and then they just one pass and they're in. You're like, oh my God, you miss that press or anything like that, or you're out of position by half a yard or so. I think Caicedo was guilty a couple of times. They highlighted that, and saying should be tight to his man. There's one part where he went to go tight on Bernardo Silva and he'd done a Cruyff turn on him. It was so silky, like, oh, you little git.
And as for the penalties, like at the end, I mean, a bit of rush of blood there from Diaz. Don't go flying in like that, and especially when it's raining as hard as it was.
I mean,
you know what I mean?
Don't think he actually intended to do what he done. The striker, Breyer. I think he did generally want to get the shot off because he kind of mucked up his touch, and that's kind of what made the whole thing. Because
Diaz, good touch, didn't it?
Diaz generally thought he was going to hit that, so he just dived completely in, and then obviously he's out of control, and he's just taken that far leg, and that was the most Stonewall penalty you'll see at any point, really. But they still checked it, as you do. But but Palmer, I mean, fair play to the lad.
Nice.
There was all that melee commotion. I think Man City players making sure that went on a bit longer than it should have as well. If I was some of the Chelsea players were getting a bit carried away. What are you doing? You've got the penalty, and now you're putting more pressure on your mate here. Just, if anything, just walk away, let it go. You've got what you want. You've got the penalty. Fantastic.
I don't know at what stage of the game it was, but there was some footage of Palmer in the Man City huddle as well, wasn't it? Just sort of like snuck in there, standing there in his pitch.
Just about to take a free kick, and he got in.
Which
and Haaland pushed him away.
I thought it was quite nice, yeah.
Well, he probably thought, oh, my face might look like this is something. If I just lean down a little bit more so he can't see the shirt. It was quite cool of him. I mean, Sanchez did make some good save. I must admit, he's after last few weeks he's had been under scrutiny, but it's one of those where Haaland burst through, and you just thought, the net's going to bulge here, and he absolutely smashed it. But he read it well, got down quite early, really, and missed that way strongly as well. Yeah, really good from him, I must admit. But Chelsea didn't give up. Got the 4-4 draw in the end, especially after that deflected Rodri. Usually when he scores, they go on to win as well. But
that's what you feared, wasn't it?
Especially Thiago for 2 weeks in a row.
Yeah.
That was kind of 2 goals, own goals, isn't it? Just both deflected off him. But that was a lazy. He's 39 now, and late in the game.
Business,
he's still class. He's still Rolls Royce of a centre back, really, as they say. But that was like I say, it was a really good game. Enjoyed it. I couldn't wait to watch highlights again, to be honest. So City dropping points, which
that's what's needed.
It's absolutely what's needed, and the table's really closing up nicely. Now we've got that break, and we'll be coming back straight away. Liverpool City, first and second. So that's a great one to start the next round off.
Classic 12:30 kickoff as well for Liverpool.
Yeah, let's not go there just yet. Early on the day, they did have Aston Villa at home against Fulham. Aston Villa now 13 home wins in a row, and the last 6 with 3 goals scored as well, minimum. So they're absolutely flying, and they're on 25 points, only 3 points off the top. I mean, what do we have down for this? I had 4-2 myself. You lot questioned that as well, made me laugh. Where did you get 2 from? Well, went far off. 3-0 Mothy and 2-0 yourself. So we all got a point for that. I'll come the closest. We'll just say that.
I would say it's not a competition, but we've actually got a league table when we know it is in fact a competition.
Yeah, and I'm winning that at the moment. Just so you know, I think the person who does come last will be doing a forfeit, so we'll choose what you got to do, James. Because you're very much lagging at the moment on 60 points.
Season's not over.
I mean, Mothy's got 66 points and he missed an entire
I
week.
gave him a week as well, yeah.
Entire week. I mean, I've got 80, so yeah, quite chuffed with that.
Only here when you're winning, don't we?
Well, yeah, obviously.
So yeah, one thing obviously with Villa, you're talking about there. I mean, they're not just like scraping home wins and winning by just a one goal. They're literally blowing teams apart. You know, if they could just sort that out to their away form as well, you could see them being up there in the pushing for top 4.
I mean, I can't wait. They got in 3 weeks' time, they've got City at home, and they're really going to go at them because.
Yeah, as they should. You know, you'd expect them to, wouldn't you? I think Emery was asked match of the day, about comments he'd made previously about them not being, able to finish in like top 5, I think it was, and I think even he after that game changed his opinion somewhat. He didn't think maybe that they had the squad for it, but he might be coming around to a different way of thinking.
Yeah, when Louise didn't play, Tielemans come in and he was. He almost got man of the match. I'd say I'd give it to McGinn because he was absolutely phenomenal.
So strong. It was incredible. I mean,
that's that big frame of his, isn't it?
Yeah, he's just a little machine, isn't he?
But he's got a bit of pace with it. It cracks me up, honestly.
He's got good feet as well, twinkle toes.
Left foot, right foot, and that finish, that nice slotted pass into the corner, really, it come in. A lot of power to it as well because he thought, was it a drive? But then on closer inspection, he pretty much just passed it in. But yeah, I mean, they did do a big thing on Tielemans, but John McGinn definitely deserves all the praise in that one. He was definitely my man of the match. I mean, the ref did give a penalty earlier on, and for a handballer supposedly, but VAR did check it, and it was actually in his face. So there we go. The VAR actually having a good call for once. Or it's just terrible refereeing, but. But then again, the linesman should say something as well, So that's their jobs. But
that was an awkward one though, because when it's in real play, it could have hit his arm and it could have hit his head. So lucky enough that.
I mean, his arm was up.
Yeah.
So it had it hit.
You can't doubt him for not thinking it was a penalty, but.
But then again, if the next day, without that, and that was a penalty, they're going absolutely mental. So
Yeah, I mean, he's obviously not your favourite referee anyway after his performance in the. Liverpool game, is he? So
I mean, I'm with De Zerbi. We'll talk later on. I hate 80%. I probably hate 100% of the English referees, to be fair. But there we go. I love that quote. I absolutely love it. I saw that on
Sky Sports today, and I did have to laugh. Jotted it straight down.
It's there's also John McGinn. He's on quite a lot of my notes here. There's a great breakaway by Villa. Takes out 3 defenders with one of his passes because he was ahead of the play. He then kind of holds it up, stops, checks his run, and then just slots it through. Takes out 3 defenders and then knocks it across. And I think that's when Ollie Watkins scored. So yeah, another goal for him. I did have to note down Ollie Watkins did miss out from 2 yards out.
Yeah. 50p head. It did. It crashed straight off the bar, didn't it? And it hit his head, and it went sort of to the right of it, didn't it? It's like. I mean, one positive there for Fulham. Real Jimenez getting his first goal.
Finally, 33 blanks.
Nice sweaty FIFA goal. Running in, slide it across the back post, and they tap it in.
Well, I hope he goes on and gets a few now because
he should have a spring in his step now.
Have
competition now and get the most.
The thing is, like Fulham fans, I think they'd be a little bit worried with their obviously recent performances and the fact they're sliding down that table quite.
I didn't hear when I was doing the table last
quickly,
night. Yeah, they're only 5th or 6th from bottom.
Yeah,
they're picking up points at home now, aren't they? That's the thing. They're going to rely heavily on that.
I mean, we're still looking at who the bottom 3 are likely to be come the end of the season, but.
I don't think they've got enough to worry about too much. Like I say, that bottom 3 is still really struggling. They might pick up the odd points here and there on the draws, but I think the rest are a bit too strong. We're talking about one of those now. Go to Brighton, Sheffield United. This ended up in a draw. None of us expected this one as well. I'm pretty sure about that. I had 3-1. Moffy had 2-0, and James, you had 2-0 also. Again, copying. But no, I listened to those earlier pods as well. You don't have copy a lot.
I cannot win.
It's called Bash James Day, I think. Absolutely.
It's not copying your hairline, though.
Right, we're going to do a bold 11. Shall we do a bold 11? I'll be in there. I'll be manager. He's going to go there eventually, though. That's on camera. You can see it. Look at the light shining on it. All you can see is my shine. But this one started a Dingra. What a goal this was.
He's got a good teacher, though, Matoma. So,
yeah, well.
Know,
I mean, he rested Matoma. He's got Fatty in there as well. He's got 3 quality wingers. This scouting network they got is phenomenal.
Yeah, the way he just cuts through them. You know, it's a bit of a fall over assist from I'm not going to try and pronounce it.
Buonanotte.
That's the one.
Still classy assist though.
I don't know if you knew too much about it, but yeah.
Buonanotte.
Do you not think that might be a little bit of their downfall though? I mean,
well, it was his downfall. That's what contributed to the assist.
Like sort of resting Matoma, you know, bring up like Matoma should be playing.
I don't think it's a downfall. I think them Villa and Newcastle are really finding out this season how difficult it is to balance a squad to compete on on all fronts.
Sunday, yeah.
Because European football does take it out. You've got the travelling as well, which people are it was only 2 games a week. I used to be able to do that when I was younger. No, it's a physical battle. You're constantly just pounding the body, and then you've got travelling, so you're in different time zones. Train in different areas and different pitches, different weather conditions. It all takes effect, and I mean their injury lists for those teams speak volumes. I mean it gets to start, and we're not even at Christmas yet, and that's when everyone really takes a pound. Yeah, it's playing every 3 days, sometimes 2 as well. It's madness. But yeah, I mean I think that's what he's trying to do with Matoma. He's trying to look after him because he is their key man, and maybe he thinks at home against Sheffield United. That would be when I'd rest him, to be honest.
Team, though.
Well, you must have looked at the stats. Yeah. It's been a while since they've played each other, but
still.
I mean, they were dominant, and it didn't change until that stupid red card really. Yeah. I mean, De Hood, what is he doing?
I don't think
I'm literally flabbergasted. What is he doing? I know he goes to turn on the ball, but he literally.
I don't think that was intentional, but unfortunately.
But he goes to do a big turn on his left foot going away from the body anyway to turn. It was a bizarre.
Very strange.
I mean, that it really did change the game, that one. And again, just moments before that, so I just looked here. They should have had a penalty, Brighton. Yep. His arm was completely up. I mean, that was about 6 to 7 yards away, but was struck at him. So
check
no excuse.
By VAR, but close to his body apparently, even though it's up there.
Well, he's turning his body, and he's still making his arm, still making himself.
I thought he tried blocking his face at first, but the argument was it wasn't too far away from his body, so it's in line with it all. But it's up high and it is out.
It's not within the silhouette, and it's at he's just making it. He's making himself bigger, isn't he? He's covering more of a target area, and yet again, it comes back to that thing we mentioned earlier about the consistency and the fact there isn't any. You look at loads of incidents like that, and why has that one been given and that one hasn't? It doesn't make sense. When you compare it to previous incidents, there should just be a set out, so they know straight away.
I mean, yeah, it's the thing. Even when there wasn't VAR, you'd still, there would be inconsistencies because it's each to their own.
It's all open to interpretation.
But the interpretation rule's still there with VAR when it's meant to be clear. I mean, that's what the big frustration of everyone who wanted VAR. They thought, there'd be certain rules that all be followed, be clear and cut, and it isn't, and it's still the interpretation. So, what's the point in having it?
Maybe to get an apology. Number 15 through the post.
Well, yeah,
should have had that.
I mean, Sheffield United, they did then pick up their game once. Brighton did go down to 10 men. They did equalise. It was an own goal by Webster, but they're putting pressure on to Brighton, and it was forced in kind of. So. And they did push for a late winner, but again, poor finishing, just letting them down. But there's still a point, which they probably didn't think they were going to get from that game.
They're another injury-stricken team, and they're doing the best with what they've got.
I mean, they're not even playing twice a week.
I don't think they've got the squad for it.
So their main striker that's gone off with mental health.
Foster.
Oh, that's Burnley. Sorry, that's Burnley.
Burnley.
Yeah, we mentioned that a bit further down, but. Then we went on to after game with De Zerbi mentioned in his thing. He did say it was 100% red card. He agreed with that, but he dislikes the referees in England. 80% of them, in fact. He was quite quite precise.
Yeah, I'm sure the thing is when the referees hear that, they'll obviously referee the games accordingly.
They'll try and butter him up. They'll be like, I might be one of the 20%. Do you know I might be able to get that down to 75, 70 if he likes me?
I don't know how many referees there are out there, but do you reckon there's like 3.5 of them that are looking at themselves thinking, we're the ones he likes?
Yeah, you keep them on their toes. Yeah, that's it. Might like me. You chat to the fourth official, like, drink later. Yeah, good point for Sheffield United, really. Away at Brighton, never easy place to go to. And then we go to Anfield. The mighty Reds, Liverpool come out 3-0 winners. I mean, I think we all predicted this pretty much spot on. I had 2-0, Moth, you had 4-1, and James, you had 2-1.
Yeah, not bad.
You talk about Villa's home form. Was it one defeat in the last 47 games at Anfield?
It is.
Is that right?
Yeah, to Leeds, I think. Leeds United last season.
You know, that's a
I mean, it was
record,
Fortress Anfield. You like to say, I'd if Liverpool ever do lose, I'd always hoped we never lose at home. You know, I can take a couple of losses for the season, but just please don't be at home. I love the fact that it's a fortress and people fear coming there. Then they know they're going to be up against a game, and the crowd are always up and about for them. You know what I mean? They can turn a game for them.
That's half the point to your season, isn't it? You know, if you can make that place a fortress, and obviously they have Klopp. So
I mean, Liverpool still always give you chances, and Brentford, did have a couple.
Leeds, didn't they?
I mean, especially in Burmo, 1-on-1, but he's probably up against the best goalkeeper on 1-on-1 situations anyway of Alisson.
strong hand.
That was a half-hearted shot, though.
Well, I think he's trying to be too cute with it. And, it was. He didn't.
Maybe he got caught in mind
Wasn't
what to do, but
he wasn't full of confidence with it. But then again, probably because of Alisson at the same time. I must admit though, Van Dijk as well, looking, really I'll start mentioning a couple of weeks in a row now. He's starting to really get back to his best, and he clears a nice one off the line, laughs about it, and he thinks to himself, "Yeah, I'm gonna have one of those games today." He dominated absolutely everything, and even in Buemo, when he stood him up 1-on-1, it's going back to the point. He goes, "I don't really want to take him on anymore." He's always looking for the easier route instead of trying to get round him.
I mean, the back four's a bit unsettled at the moment, isn't it, through injury?
I hope it sticks with
Gomez
Matip.
wasn't available, and obviously no Robbo, so you've got Simicast instead.
Yeah, I mean, Simicast got 2 assists though, didn't he?
Yeah, he had a much better game than he did when he came on against Luton. So yeah.
I like seeing Matip. He's very animated, isn't he?
I love
Especially when it's not a free kick. He's got his hands and he's doing.
It's nice when he.
I mean, to be fair to him, that free kick he gave away, that yellow card, he actually didn't do anything wrong, and that's why he lost his shit. And he's like,
it's always good when he goes on his storming runs.
I love his runs.
It's
Absolutely
like
love it.
he gets a rush of blood to the head, and before you know it, he's in the opposition box, and he's just like, oh no, almost.
My only frustration with him is he doesn't score enough headers or win enough headers, because for his size, you'd think he'd always be on the end of a corner.
I think the frustration is that he doesn't shoot enough. He gets that far and he never takes the opportunities.
No, he can't do anything wrong, Mark.
And then obviously shooting, the game that when we watched you play Luton, Nunes missing those chances, and it's clear. I mean, he had two both in the net. He finished them this time.
Finishes. The one, like I said, it's down to millimetres. The first one, millimetres. You're like, oh, piss off. Just let that go, poor lad. You know what I mean?
The fact he's finishing those chances is always a positive, because he has been a bit wasteful.
But his assists are still there. Him and Salah's link up is really positive. Going forward, I mean, it's been great so far this season. Salah looks happy to assist him as well and try to get him in. They're always looking for each other. And he done that classic where he knocks it through to Salah, and that's that angle. It's one of his signature goals.
It's almost like Salah's trying to nurture him and bring him on as a player as well, isn't it? Just to help his game along a little
obviously
bit.
Obviously recognise he's got this quality there.
Yeah, no, I mean that is undeniable. It's just he just needs to get the consistencies with his finishing.
That's what I just think makes me laugh, because there's them two, and then Jota just seems to be on his own, but just picking up goals every now and again. I'll just finish. If you lot miss, I'll just rebound, tap it in. He's fantastic. Another goal for him again. I should probably check how many goals he's got, but he ain't far off double figures this season already. Yeah.
So with Salah, he scored his 200th goal. Where do you rank him as your all-time top goal scorer for Liverpool?
He's definitely the most Egyptian.
Also, he's a winger, so he's the best winger Liverpool's had.
I could see that answer coming a mile off.
But no, I mean, we'll put it down to goal scorers then, just to clear that up. But I mean, Ian Rush is obviously top of the all-time goal scoring charts with 346, something like that. Just off the top of my head. But I mean, I grew up with Robbie Fowler, and he was fantastic. I mean, throughout the 90s, absolutely loved him, and that's what he's known as God on the Cop. He was just, he was phenomenal. He's left foot, right foot header. I actually thought he's right footed when I was a kid because every time I see him, he'd score with right, and then later I realised how perfect his left foot was.
He was so good. Benitez, who brought him back to teach players how to score goals.
Yeah, pretty much. And that was a great day. That was. That really was. I remember him coming on against Wigan, and he scored, but it was offside. I was gutted. I was like, if only he's got that debut goal again. But I was gutted when he left. But then you had Michael Owen. What a at young age, how good he was.
Yeah.
I mean, only injuries again ruled him out. I mean, that's what you talk about, injuries really, because had these players not got the injuries when they had them, they could have gone on to do phenomenal things again. But Salah come in, no one expected this at all, and
was it two or three goals he got at Chelsea?
2 goals because so he's got 198 now for Liverpool.
So he's 198.
So 2 goals. So a hat trick against City, he'll overtake 200 there to be some 201. So that'd be lovely. Called it. But yeah, he's definitely up there now. I mean,
you don't even mention like Suarez, Torres,
Suarez didn't stay long enough. Don't
No,
get me wrong. Suarez is the best player ability-wise.
Yeah.
Suarez was next level. Just everything. I mean, except even that first season I saw Suarez, he missed so many chances, a bit like Núñez now. But that second season, that third season, it was everything he shot just went in. Free kicks, he adds everything to his game, and he'd literally just create something from absolutely nothing. Salah's a bit different. I mean, he's always on that right side. He can come central, but he can. It's the way he turns. His timing's impeccable to get in these positions as well. Don't be wrong, brilliant, absolutely brilliant. But I just Suarez for me was. Like I say, I hadn't mentioned it, but he's probably the best player I've seen in Liverpool Red. It was so fun to watch, and that chant was definitely my. That Luis Suarez chant is definitely one of my favourites. Sing along. So didn't mention Torres. Absolutely gutted when he went to Chelsea. Loved him to bits, but injuries again kind of plagued his role at Liverpool. But Salah is an absolute Liverpool legend. There's no doubt about that, and he'll be mentioned for years. I think we'll appreciate him even more after he does retire, or move on. People always like to reminisce more once players have gone back. People always nowadays talking about legends of the game and that. And he'll 100% be one of them. It's only because of Messi and Ronaldo, and that he doesn't get the plaudits he does right now anyway. I mean, he's in a lot of people's all-time Premier League 11s on that right side. I think he's got that pretty much nailed on. I mean, you always have Henry on the left, I think, on that one, and Shearer in the middle. People may argue Rooney, Drogba, but Salah's always there on that right side for people. Honestly,
that's always a preference of what type of striker you want to see, though, isn't it? I mean, everyone has their favourite striker, and on how when you see Shearer, his power, does all that, and then obviously you've got Henry, his finesse, his elegant, and then you've got, like say, Suarez is pretty much like Henry, that sort of play, but
just without the pace.
Yeah,
but we'll say about Salah is his assists as well. It's such a high assist record. But I always had a frustration with Salah, not so much this season because he, like you say, doesn't seem as greedy or selfish. But there's a lot of times even on the title run-ins, match up with City where you could have passed a bit more.
Part of it was down to like a little bit of disagreement with Mane, wasn't it? So there was obviously some friction in their relationship.
Even so, do you think for the team first? It should always be that, because if you're looking back and you go through all the games, you're like, if you go through decision making, like if you'd have just squared it or just set someone else up, you're like, we'd have cleared that league easily, like 3 or 4 times over.
You had Daniel Sturridge on Sky Sports the other week, didn't you? And he was talking about his partnership and with Suarez, just saying obviously as a striker you always want to score the goals, but if somebody's in a better position,
absolutely.
The team.
I mean, they would get on apparently that well.
Yeah, but I mean their goals. They speak for themselves, don't they?
I mean, he was another great striker. Again, injuries.
So
if you can stay, that's the great thing about Salah. He's just so consistency, because he looks after himself. He doesn't drink, he doesn't smoke, he doesn't go out partying. He's big on religion and everything. So he just keeps himself perfect. That's what I always say. He could play for another 4 or 5 years easily. Yeah. And I'd love Liverpool to sign him on another longer contract, and I hope he doesn't go to Saudi and plays in of 700 people because he deserves better. Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, I must as well. I did get the third goal in this one, but we also talked about this Endo VAR check for red. For me, if that's a red card, then we might as well just pack up now because it's a 50-50 challenge.
Yeah,
I know he gets the ball away from him and he kind of dives in, but they both go in for it. As soon as it's all cleared and checked, Norgard gets straight up.
I don't know. I don't know whether it's like just the angle, because I mean the angle his foot goes in is obviously flat to the ground, but then I think maybe it digs in and that's what pulls his studs up, and that's maybe what makes it look a little bit worse. But initially, I didn't think there was anything.
They both committed, both wanted to win the ball, and you're going to get a tangle.
They looked at it 13 times on VAR. They checked it over and over and over again. Like, come on, the referee had a fantastic view. He not trusted him anymore. I mean, it was clear as anything. Nothing was even given, no yellow card, anything anyway. So
yeah, Thomas Frank obviously wasn't happy about it because he was just shaking his head, wagging his finger.
Well, he wasn't happy about that, but he did explain after the game, and I've got a lot of credit for him. He said he said I don't think it was a red card, but bearing in mind with what's gone on lately with the Curtis Jones one, Rashford in midweek as well. These are the kinds of studies have been shown, and the red cards have been given after being checked. He goes. Again, it comes down to he wants consistency. So all we want is fairness and consistency. is what he on the back of their shirts.
Unless it's detrimental to us, then not so much.
But no, yeah, I mean Liverpool. Yes, I mean they had the ball in the back of the net 5 times. Got free, get them sorted out. Yeah, we're not going anywhere. I say Liverpool are in for a title challenge this season. It's just whether we get the luck with it and keep certain players fit. We've still got the joint best defensive record, which shocked me.
I think it's some of those games though.
That's only because Man City conceded 4, that's why they've gone down in that estimation. But no, great win for the Reds. And we're going to your boys, Mothy?
Yep.
3-2.
Well, when you consider, obviously, you talk about Thursday, Sundays. When you consider, Forest, they blew away a good Villa team last week.
Yeah.
One thing obviously I'm delighted with the win. But you think as a Forest fan, don't you think you're a bit frustrated? They've got so much potential and so much going forward. Didn't really show it much yesterday. I mean, they had moments.
Well, Awoni did trouble you. It seemed to trouble your defence. He was very powerful in that. And
Ariola pulling off some,
Oh, well, that was a brilliant save.
Some great saves. It's kind of what you expect from him, though.
Yeah.
He's one of these keepers who does really throw himself about quite acrobatically, and they always look quite good as well, don't they? The saves that he pulls off. It's just one of those, isn't it?
Oh, it's a good save.
Yeah.
One for the cameras, yeah. But Piquet.
Well, ever since I slated him on here, saying he's been a bit poor, he's stepped up his game. So thanks for listening. But no, he was. It was a hell of a finish. I mean, it was Forest giving the ball away cheaply, really. It was good. Tackled them. It was poor play by Forest anyway. But breaks to Paqueta and what a finish! Slammed it into that bottom corner, and then does a lovely little dance afterwards.
That's it. Yeah, you always get out. We started off really strong, and we didn't. It's like we just faded towards the end of the half. We just sort of took the tempo out of the game. We didn't push and try and build on it. And then that just sort of gave Forest that chance where they did have that threat going forward, and that's where they made the most of it, And to get one to go let them score just before half time, and that was a bit of a sort of kick in the teeth, but it was an entertaining game, lively.
I mean, 3-2. It speaks volumes for lively. I mean, kudos. His quality, I'll tell you how quality is, but there was a bit of risk and reward with him in it because he will try the audacious pass. He'll go for a risky ball all the time, and there was a couple of times he was guilty of being intercepted. But again, if that works out, you're on the break instantly on that. So, but he's exciting player, isn't he?
There's obviously the build up for one of their goals. Now, I'm all one for a bit of a shoulder barge if you've got the ball, but when the ball's coming to Souček and the bloke's come in, literally barged him over, didn't have no control of the ball, and then it's like they went and broke and scored, and I was like, well, there must have been a foul.
Was that the Elanga one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like, but no.
Isn't it usually the point where you say, no, it needs to be stronger?
Yeah, he does. Yeah, pretty much.
There's being strong, yeah, but
But it's
obviously
West Ham.
It's
We
West
can't,
Ham.
no, I can't have it though. West
Yeah,
Ham.
I've heard they're massive. They should be able to master these sort of challenges.
yes, everyone's still crying that Souček's still on the pitch. I mean, to be honest with you, I was watching it and I was like, 40th minute in, Souček's got the ball. I didn't know. I didn't realise he was actually on.
Oh, he certainly turned up later on.
Yeah.
And again, the key is what I call him.
That's it, James Ward-Prowse.
JWP, 2 assists and delivery
he's
after
just
delivery,
unlocking
free
everything,
kick, corner. It was always someone on the end of it. It was always put in that exact danger zone all the time. And even Bowen popping out of a header.
Well, that's the thing, Bowen. He's got to be one of the shortest players on.
It was
the
free.
pitch.
He was totally
And
free.
He just jumps up above everything else.
But it was in a perfect position, perfect place to put it. And then Souček.
Well, that was his third time of having a chance. I mean, he was unlucky. I think the ball come in, he tried stretching it. I think he hit the crossbar.
Yeah, it sort of it went dug in the ground a bit and then just hit.
And then obviously the third one was
crossbar,
probably the hardest one, where he obviously had to get his head and divert it in the
Well,
goal.
at first you don't succeed.
That's it.
He certainly did, yeah.
But like in the second half,
Plugging away at it.
we kept that momentum going, and even though we went behind, we still plugged along. And when you consider, like I say, we played Thursday night as well, that he hadn't made that many changes. You know, it goes to show that obviously.
Did you win Thursday night?
Yeah.
You
Obviously,
through now,
we beat Olympiacos and Forest, both the same owners as well, believe it or not.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so 1 week.
Yes, them off.
That's it.
Usually hit list. David Moyes.
But I think Moyes needed that. I mean, I'm for one. I'd really hope that they sort of get his contract sorted. Give him a contract. You know, he's got a. You know, he's sort of earned it. You know, he's got the players. I mean, he brought Alvarez off and brought on Antonio. So can't knock him and say, oh, he's trying to sit back and all that. He went for it yesterday, and that, and it's like just.
I mean, that has eased the pressure because there has been a lot of rumblings, haven't
Yeah.
there? That people are unhappy, just his style of play.
I think there's always going to be that with like West Ham. Though there's always going to be a proportion of them that are going to want more attractive football.
But people want more and more and more because they're looking at other sides, aren't they? That's
Well,
the
the thing is, I think season after season, I mean, he's given you, your first trophy in how many years?
But you say,
and expectations will always go up, and they think, oh, because we've won this, and we've got a better crop of players, then we should be, maybe doing more, playing better style of football. But some fans they will always want more.
the art will be if we can keep Paqueta next season, because you say entertaining football. I'm seeing Paqueta, and he is literally the entertainment. He is worth paying the money to go and see. And like you say, now we've got Kudus as well, who's another one that he's just wants to take the game by the scruff of the neck, and he's trying to make things happen, and that's what you want to see.
I think key to it all may be this whole situation with the technical director.
Yeah.
So whether he gets this new contract or not. So, I mean, apparently they've argued about transfers, how the technical director thinks you play and stuff like that. But the transfers that the technical director has brought in is pretty much the players you were mentioning there. So he obviously got an eye for a decent player. Moyes got the old British grit about him, the way they wants to play, difficult to beat, just very physical. But and then you got a little bit of flair to go with it, just to sprinkle on top. But, it's working well for him. I mean, he's got the trophy. You're in the quarterfinals. Is it quarters or semis against Liverpool? Quarters.
Yep.
I mean, you managed to freak a win against that. You're in the semi-final. You're not far from the final, and then another cup final for West Ham. Absolutely massive. And without Declan Rice, I mean, that'll rub it in. If Arsenal don't win this season, you do. No, I mean, it's a good win, especially coming off. I mean, you struggled with the Thursday, Sundays, but 3 points.
But Forest, I mean, like I say, they've got a lot going forwards for them, and I think if they just unleashed them maybe a little bit more, I think they'd probably be a bit more of a threat to the league, if you know what I mean. They've got some skillful.
I think they've got a few players to come back as well. Don't forget, I mean, there's a lot of teams being hit with injuries all of a sudden.
I mean, it's probably been like one of the worst seasons for us, isn't it, with regards to injuries. I mean, I've never known so many teams have so many key players out at one time.
It's like we had a World Cup and then no rest in between all that, really, and it catches up with you eventually.
They're all babies.
What is that?
They're not tough no more.
Are we going to mention, obviously, James Ward-Prowse and his lack of an England call-up? I don't know whether he's been called up after some of the injuries.
He won't have been.
Nah.
He won't have been. Gareth don't care. He's got his
Yep.
lads.
Mm.
He knows what he wants. Calvin Phillips
I mean,
again have a stellar performance yesterday, didn't he? Calvin Phillips really dominated that midfield for Man City.
I don't know whether the mic's picking up the sarcasm in your voice.
Yes, but again, yeah, I was even on the bench.
In a selfish point of view, obviously, as much as I'd like to see him get his reward, but
Keep him
him
fit.
fit,
Yeah, so every time when Trent wasn't getting in the England squad, and I was like, fantastic, absolutely brilliant. You ain't got to worry about him getting injured away from on duty now.
It's going to be one of those things that he'll obviously feel like he's missed out on in his career because the way he's playing, he does deserve to be there. But it's obviously, like you say, for West Ham, it's good news because he just gets to have a little break now, doesn't he?
that's what Mark Noble said as well.
Yeah, again, he was a classic England midfielder. Full of caps. No, it's quite long, lads. We're not even done Saturday yet. But no, we will head to Saturday now. Start with the early kick-off. Wolves at home against Spurs. I don't know if any of us called this right. No,
Come on,
none of us did. You were the closest, James. You had it draws.
Mm.
You had it as a draw, 1-1. Me and Moffy had it. Well, I had 2-1. Moffy had 3-1.
We did give our predictions after the Chelsea Spurs game,
That was before because we didn't know, did we?
Yeah,
That was the
with
night
all the
before.
red cards and injuries they've got.
Yeah, that's
Everything-
our excuse. What was yours?
I can't win even when I'm the closest to an actual correct
But
score. I still can't win. Can I?
If you want to see how good your squad is, that was the test that Tottenham and Ange needed because now they can see.
It's also answered the question what we had. Well, how are they going to deal? What are they going to be like when they when they see their first defeat?
Yep.
How are they going to react to it?
Mm.
And it was a positive start from themselves.
Yep.
It was, they probably thought the weight was lifted. Got that early goal, nice, lovely move as well.
Isn't that the same what happened against Chelsea? They got an early game and then it kind of. Well, I mean, obviously it didn't fall apart
They
straight
didn't
away.
get an early
for
game, James. Not
an
Liverpool.
early goal, but you know what I mean.
They did have an early game.
Only
They
Liverpool
didn't on
get
Saturday,
early
though.
games.
No, they
that's
did
only
get
us.
the early ones there, but like I say, Brendan Johnson already done more than Richarlison, 100% now. I was saying the other week.
Just waiting for a tattoo to be shown.
Imagine
What's
him.
he got? He's got a picture of Richarlison on the
He's
back.
got big old eyes, big old teeth as well, hasn't he? It's
Well, he's out injured now anyway, isn't he, Richarlison, for a while?
yeah, he's
isn't
out.
it?
Lucky
He's been,
them.
he's been waiting.
That's
he's been
probably the
waiting for
positive from
surgery.
all their
Yeah.
injury in that.
But that's the thing, they've lost Maddison, Van der Ven, obviously a key
Van der
player.
Ven's huge. Romero,
Yeah.
obviously,
Yeah.
Ban,
Udogie.
Ban.
Yeah.
But I don't reckon he's that bad, that Van der Ven. I reckon he's not as bad as what. Obviously, when you see him hobbled off,
I was going to say,
he
he
looks
pulled up
really-
pretty sharp.
he's ready retirement. But no, he's not as bad. But
He's still quite young, so he should mend pretty quick. Really.
one thing they have got though is a hell of a goalkeeper. Tottenham.
Oh, for
Vicario.
Yeah.
I mean, we just talked about that Chelsea. If we want to talk about that Chelsea game
Yeah.
again, how he kept them in that for as long as he did, because he had a
Great
few
find.
one-on-ones.
Mm.
He's fantastic diving ability.
Mm.
He reads the ball well. He's like I say, I'll be shocked if he's not up there at the end of the season. One of in the conversation at least of being signed in the summer, because they've found one there absolutely.
I mean,
He's Italian, isn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
you talk about like sort of
If he's anything like Buffon, fantastic.
Exactly. Yeah.
saves.
He could be playing for God knows how many decades to come. Then, couldn't he?
He definitely loves the ones for the cameras, though, Vicario. But he's a good goalkeeper. I do like him a lot. Always say
He covers the ground really well. His anticipation. Even if the ball's coming at him through a crowd of players, I think he just instinctively knows where he needs to plant himself.
Yeah.
I say he does. He just
most
covers that ground.
obsessed with feet, but his hands, his shot stopping is unreal. And let's face it, goalkeepers go back to basic. Just being a shot stopper. That's what they're.
And it looks flashy when he does it as well, which is always good. Yeah.
But Wolves, with Gary O'Neill, if you look at their whole season, they have been very unlucky. But they've been playing some really good football under O'Neill, and they just obviously need that luck. But we'd say, well, now getting injured, how will they survive? But they seem to be coping without him. I know, obviously, with him in, he probably taken some of the chances they had, but they still look a good threat.
Yeah, he was. He was the real pace and provider there, wasn't he? And you thought maybe their season would take a little bit of a tumble. And obviously, like you say, the decisions have gone against him. think there's probably a bit of stupidity on Spurs' part, the fact that they didn't just put a few players into Wolves' box and just wait for them to be given a penalty for no reason, like's happened in the last couple of games. Just to stop Gary O'Neill's, sort of like week off. But
Just fall over.
just fall over. Doesn't need to be anyone near.
Oh, I've fallen over. I've fallen over again.
They could have had a hat full of penalties.
But no, I mean, we like say with Neto not being about. The thing was, they picked up some actually good players in the last few years. People don't realise that Sarabia being one of them.
That was a cracking goal, wasn't it?
And I mean, talk about super subs. He come on, he scored one, assisted the winner as well. Yeah. But that first goal, what a take and what a finish! Oh wow,
beautiful.
But you missed obviously just before that. I mean, Son very quiet. I don't think he scored against Wolves.
Never scored against Wolves. No.
And he had that moment where he got played in. He had that bit of space, but it's just he couldn't get his feet sorted. And then by the time he got his feet sorted, he was closed down. And it's like normally he's quite hot on that, and maybe he hasn't scored against Wolves. Maybe that was playing in his head, and but yeah, that touch and the volley and that. I mean, that was a hell of a finish.
You forget some of the talent they did pick up in the last couple of years. But Gary Neville was a very happy man at the end, and he signed his players off. I see a clip earlier saying, that's the level now, boys. Go and have your 2 weeks off, enjoy yourselves. But when you come back, that is the level. That's what I want. And he goes, I talk about when I was a player and that I never was able to have that ability that you lot have shown today. But well done, excellent.
I mean, that's a really good thing to just have from a manager as well. Just that extra bit of encouragement, and that will stick in their heads on international duty, and they will think, we've done this in this game, and you would have thought that was Spurs all day long at that point, wouldn't you? So they've come away with all 3 points, and that's
what I will say with that. I mean, Spurs. I mean, it's 91st minute that Wolves did equalise. You're away from home. You're 1-0 up. You've got to see the game out. Just control the play. I mean, keep it simple. Keep the ball. I mean, they like I say when Wolves equalised, they hoofed it down the line and put it out for throw-in, and then Gary Neville couldn't shut the back. They're bang on it. They want to go for that equaliser, and they knew exactly what they wanted.
We saw it in the Chelsea game, though, didn't we? That maybe their game management isn't quite there. Obviously they were hampered by the fact they'd had 2 players sent off, and Postecoglou said in his post-match interview.
Postecoglou.
But he said in his post-match interview, we're always going to have a go.
Well, no, we always have a crack, mate.
Yeah, which is good to see, but I don't think it's ultimately going to pay dividends for them. There is a certain bit of game management that has to come into it. If you're 1-0 up.
I say if you're going to go for a title race, you've got to learn these basics. You need to control a game because it can get very erratic, especially if you're away from home. Fans get jeered up, dying minutes, long hoof balls. You don't want those. The best team at it is Man City. Just keep the ball, and it frustrates the life out of you. You can't even get the ball to even have an attack. Yeah. They just literally pass it around back to the goalkeeper at the front, back up to the front, back again you go, and he's like, can't even get the ball. How are you meant to score? He can't get the ball. But it was poor from Spurs, but then again, like I say, a lot of players out, and then sorry, I was talking about Newcastle further down. But yeah,
well, they've still got plenty of players out, haven't they, Spurs? So.
Yeah, no, like I say, I was going to talk about the fan pumping up, but that's Newcastle, isn't it? But now we're going to Arsenal. 3rd place now, leapfrogging Spurs, joint on points Liverpool, so basically 2nd, but not. 3-1 winners against Burnley. What did we have for this one? We had. Why can't I see it?
I know.
I had to.
You said with me.
Yeah. I had 3-0 Arsenal. Offie had 2-0. James, you had 3-0. So
this is the only bit of football I could actually get.
It's only because last week I gave it to him and he started writing it down. I was like, he's totally fine.
One thing you can take out of this game is Arsenal.
Me, apparently.
Yeah. Arsenal know now to mix it up. They wasn't, that fast flowing. It was like they played set pieces. They was pumping the ball in the box, and you look at their goals. It was all like unlike an Arsenal team before. It was sort of strong in the air, and Brave as well.
Oh no, yeah, Brave. Talking about Brave was Trossard, header and that first goal in, and then crashed into
straight into
the goalkeeper and then
post,
the post. So I think Trafford kind of saved him a little bit. It's the only thing he did save all day.
I don't know. He denied Saka.
He
at
did
one
do a
point,
couple
so
of good saves, yeah.
There was a couple of good saves, but
I'll just make a joke. You don't have to explain it.
it's always funnier when you explain a joke.
But even for was it the second one, Saliba?
Yeah, well, that was where you go. That was weak goalkeeping.
That was just inexperienced. You know, they took advantage of it. I mean, let's face it, he's in the goalkeeper's position, Saliba. His goalkeeper should be commanding that.
I think there's something Arsenal must have planned on was set pieces, because like I say, they all seem to come from a set piece, and maybe it's another weakness of Burnley, except for giving the ball away at their own half. Seems to be the big one for them so far this season, but must have been something Arteta has also noticed. And yeah, pretty much all 3 goals come from something like that around the corners and stuff. But yeah, like I say, goalkeeper should know better. He'd come for and get a fist. I mean,
He's a
Saliba.
definite weakness.
There's usually a defender protecting their goalkeeper there on their situation. You know, shoving him out of the way and getting in between the two. But bear in mind that was a fantastic corner. That's 2 or 3. I mean, Trossard put on that exact same position. So yeah, I think it's definitely something they worked on. Fair play to Arteta on that one, absolutely. I mean, Burnley did equalise. Gabriel deflecting shot from Brownhill. A bit harsh. I mean, Arsenal were moaning that there was a foul on Tommy Asu. Do you think there was?
No, I think
Mothy?
I think it was
stronger.
a bit soft there. So.
Yeah, I mean,
it was a case of he just trying to move his feet, trying to sort of get his body there, but unfortunately lost his balance and away he went.
That on the deck.
It's no foul for me. But I mean, they obviously go 1-1. In the first half, Burnley was in the game though. That's the thing. They had their chances. They was still creating, but then like I say,
I think that's always been their season though, isn't it? They've been in games, they've had opportunities, but they just haven't taken them.
yeah. Haven't taken it. Shit, you probably see on the camera. My eyes go.
Obviously, Lyle Foster as well. You got to mention. Mention Lyle Foster. They've not had the goals.
I mean, Burnley are struggling. They've conceded 30 goals now in 12, by the way. But they're not even. I mean, they got the lucky deflection of the goal. They're not scoring, and they're now missing their main man. He's come out. He's got mental health issues now.
Yeah, Lyle Foster. Yeah. Obviously the club are supporting him, and it's obviously not a nice thing for him. But luckily, it's this day and age where people are able to talk about these sorts of things, and hopefully he'll get all the support he needs, and come back stronger for them. Whether we'll see him again this season, I don't know.
He's quite refreshing. He's a young lad as well, isn't he?
Yeah.
For him to come out, and have the sort of bravery.
Well, the club's been quite open and honest about it. There's some things you see players disappear for a while. Like, what on earth's going on? And the club just don't explain anything. You're like, what is actually happening? And then they've come out and said, no, we're giving him some time off. I mean, they paid a big fee for him, so it's
I suppose the
the
pressure of and the potential speculation as to why a player's not there, might just make that problem worse for him. Obviously, if he's happy with them to share that to everyone, then that's obviously his decision. But like I say, whether we'll see him again this season or not, I mean, he's done okay so far, hasn't he? I think.
Oh, he's got a couple of goals. We were raving about him at the start, weren't we?
Yeah.
So obviously just gets homesick, because I think he pretty homesick his previous club as well. I think so. There was a little bit of history there. I think the club may well have known a little bit about it, or had some kind of idea that this may well happen, or thought he was over it, over the worst of it. But obviously coming to a different club, young lad, like I say, it's difficult. Everyone's different in their heads. Like I say, so it is a mental illness. People got to realise that sometimes. But we'll get back to the game now. Zinchenko, I must admit, because this was a really good goal. I called it a scissor kick half volley.
Yes. Yeah, I'll agree with that analysis. Scissor kick half volley.
I've just call it a Jackie Chan.
It was a really nice finish, I must admit. And again from a corner, something they definitely worked on, getting success there all day. Really, the only slight blip for Arsenal was Fabio Vieira getting a straight red.
Yeah, he just break down the.
I think it's fully deserved. There's no
Achilles,
questions
wasn't
there.
it?
Straight red.
Yeah.
Ref didn't even think that.
He had a good view of it as well, didn't he? So, yeah, I mean, it's just saying Zinchenko's goal is just the way he hit it. It just looks so nice, you know.
Zinchenko.
That's a good one.
Thanks.
Still trying to work it out.
But one thing for certain, you had a happy Arteta because they won, so there's no complaints, no moaning.
No, he said nothing wrong with VAR today.
Yeah,
it was a very different.
They've done well
press
done.
conference afterwards.
It's funny what happens when you win.
That's
So,
it,
Yeah, it makes a hell of a difference.
But now we'll go to another classic. Well, I know I would have put this down as probably being last of match of the day, to be honest, at the start of the day. But Crystal Palace at home against Everton, finishing off 3-2 to the visitors. This was a really good watch.
Yeah, a really good game. Sean Dyche has obviously had quite an impact there. I think we were all a little bit worried for him at the start of the season. Things weren't really going too well. I mean, obviously we were Liverpool fans kind of hoping that Everton might be heading down, but
No, I don't want that. I like the 6 points a season. I mean, they flew out the traps again. Mikalenko, I mean, his left back is finding himself as a useful secondary striker. Heading in after 50-odd seconds, I think, maybe just a bit under that.
Yeah.
Absolutely flying. I mean, this is his second week in a row he scored now as well. It was a very nice header. Everton packing the box early on, really showing their intent for the game.
When you consider when you watch the game back, I mean, Everton, they got their goals, but it was like they were sort of free against a run of play. I mean, Palace dominated the whole game. In my opinion, they don't. I mean, Eze, since he come back,
oh yeah,
you know what I mean.
Yeah,
it was
he
like
looked phenomenal, didn't he?
it's just like he galvanised the whole team. Just having him in that team.
So lively. He's extended his contract now as well, hasn't he? So that was a big positive for him. And
Contracts don't mean anything. He's probably got a release clause in him. Well,
okay, I'll take that positive out then.
There you go, Palace fans, enjoy.
but yeah, I mean, they literally were just moving the ball and more confident. They had a bit more swagger. You know, I mean, Elise was on the bench as well.
He come off in the end. He come on the bench. So yeah, he got a big ovation when he come on. But like Eze, with that little mazy run he does, and Braithwaite does connect with him and does bring him down, and that penalty as well. Just how calm was that? Little literally lazy walk up and just slotted at the corner with confidence, absolutely. And I must say, he was so unlucky not to get a second penalty. Because again, by the byline, cuts back Braithwaite again. Home with the Braithwaites.
I checked it, didn't it?
It checked it, wasn't given, and there was huge contact there.
Yeah.
There was contact
Gary
there.
O'Neill was screaming at his TV.
But I think what they failed to register is Eze's moving. You know, he's not exactly sort of like dilly-dally, and he's shifting as well. So
Dermot Gallagher did make a good point earlier on Ref Watch, just saying, the referee does have a third option right there and then. He goes, either give a penalty, you can give one the booking, or just let play continue. He goes, like I say, he's moving at pace there.
Yeah.
So even if he did get, there was a touch that he didn't dive. He certainly didn't dive.
No.
So he could have let the carry on. There might have been a ricochet and another chance for Palace there and then. But a yellow card was definitely harsh on him. Man of the match, I think, certainly run the roost, but unfortunately for him, he ended up on the wrong side of it. But sort of close run from man of the match. Might have been Mikalenko, who nearly scored his second of the game, but hit the post and come out to Decore. It wasn't the easiest chance of a tap in, but it kind of was just a tap in. But it was at height. He could have. You've seen some players knock that over and stuff like that, but he done the right thing. And another goal for Decore as well. So yeah, I mean, he's having a really good season, I must admit. Dyche is bringing out the best of him again, because when he was at Watford, he was getting a lot of interest as well, and then Everton paid big money for him, and it didn't quite happen under the previous managers. But Dyche is certainly getting something out of him now anyway, to finally get some of that feedback they paid.
Yeah, because you quite associate him as like, what was he, like defensive midfielder, would you say? I mean,
He been more attacking. He's just off
Yeah.
just off the front this season.
But obviously, when you say
I'd say he's
I mean-
more of an 8 than he is a 6.
when you look at players that have played in that position, like Patrick Vieira, more defensive minded, and then obviously they can push on. It gives them that freedom, I suppose, to get on. I mean, they've got other players around that can do their job as well. It frees up other players, but yeah, Everton, they've sort of turned the corner now, haven't they? I think Liverpool giving them.
They may not be gutted it, isn't it? National break. They're the ones,
Yeah.
one of the teams who go, really? Now we just got a little bit of momentum going. We could have done with carrying on, really. That's one of the other frustration with it coming in. Not all of a sudden, that's the second one now in the space of a month, isn't it?
Starting to get a bit fed up with it.
I've been fed up for years. Just go straight to the World Cup. Just let certain teams in. That'll do.
I got to mention Palace's second as well. Was it Edouard for that?
Tarkowski just
header comes in from Lerma, and then Tarkowski's he's there and he's like.
Did he get a shout from Pickford?
I think the keeper's got that, but Pickford's not moving, is he? He's not come out at all.
He did go to reach for it, but his arms are so short.
But the thing is, I mean, if Pickford was going for it, we already saw his pace earlier in the match because he was straight out of the traps to play him.
You're using that. Yeah.
So,
Robot Wars.
What trap was it?
Trap one. Come out like a greyhound. Last thing I thought we'd ever hear Pickford be compared to was a greyhound. To be fair.
It's more like a T-Rex we compare him to. But still, I mean that was just a stupid goal for them to concede, and you need to get rid of those little individual errors, like whether Pickford's called for it or not. Like I say, he made no movement towards it.
It certainly wasn't Pickford's fault because he told him that. It never is Pickford's fault, no matter what happens. I mean, but Everton did steal it late. Like I say, it did seem against a run of play all the time. They always just seemed to go forward and just get a goal, and bizarrely, the most random player you think of as Ghana Gay actually getting the winner. It's a kind of even kind of tackles it in. That's how he scores. Great pass again from Decore, always involved in something positive for Everton. And he just slides it in, but tucks it away lovely in the corner as well. Really good finish from the defensive midfielder. Yeah, like you say, the rarity as well.
Yeah, they're going to be happy with how things have gone up to the international break. But like I say, there'll be frustration there. Because they just want to keep that momentum. And
that's it. Momentum's key, isn't it?
We'll see what Everton team come back.
That's going to be the hard thing about our predictions, because I'm going to make you do it at the end anyway. We don't know what's going to happen in international. There might be injuries, but also there's that lull now, isn't there?
How come all of a sudden we're taking predictions quite seriously now? I mean, like we were throwing 6-7 nils around earlier.
We have to.
Now Pete's winning. He said we go serious.
Oh, I'm going to go serious. I'll keep it going.
It's funny what happens. He's even taken over announcing what our predictions were, so he's definitely taken it seriously.
Well, I'm still disappointed myself in one of mine. Because 1 week I got 15 points, really nearly got everything spot on, and then the week after I got 1 point. So what happened there? I think I must have been mucking around. But listening back to him, you do take it less serious than the rest anyway, Moffy, but you're still somewhere miles ahead of James.
I think it's like 6 points.
It's when the forfeit comes and we blindfold
Actually,
James.
I don't really want you to take it serious because then we'll be in trouble. Yeah, that's it. Oh, yeah. Oh, yes.
You got Bob open, no hope, mate. None whatsoever.
Bold hope.
Anyway, back to the football.
All right, Man United. Coming up 1-0.
I said football and you just said United.
1-0 against Luton. Lindelof again. Keep saving United's blushes. Well, I'm not going to mention Højlund, am I? Still not scored.
No, still not scored in the league. It's not like he's not had opportunities, but United's strike force is just kind of non-existent at the moment. Rashford looked really, really poor again. He had one-on-one with the keeper and.
It's a confidence thing.
It definitely looked like it was confident.
He took a touch when he didn't need to. He could have just planted that first time.
I mean, he would have done previously, wouldn't he? He'd have just buried it. But
I feel sorry for Højlund because if you watch him, his movement off the ball, when he gets the ball, he brings others in. He doesn't get that back though. You talk about Salah and his will to assist players. When he's got Garnacho and you've got Rashford, either side of him. They don't, they're not thinking about crossing the ball into Højlund and setting him up. They're thinking about themselves. I mean, that Garnacho, the amount of chances he wasted, it's unreal.
He's quite selfish, isn't he? But I mean, that shows confidence and arrogance. I do think he may well come really good in the future. He's definitely got
an aura about him. He's definitely got self-confidence. That's a
I
fact.
think at the moment, looking at the performance, they're more individual players than they are a team, aren't they?
Oh, 100%.
I know obviously their team gets chopped and changed around quite a bit because there's a lot of injuries and
Confusion about who's actually good.
But
the only ones that banged on starters are Anana, McTominay, and Maguire. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Two of the players that were surplus to requirement. Yeah, again, the ones that are digging him out. I mean, McTominay had a couple of good opportunities. I think it was only decent saves from Kaminsky that denied him. So, yeah.
But you talk about, obviously we're talking about a lot about Man United, but Luton, they come along. They had their game plan. It worked for me. But then that chance when they, when you play that style, when you play that system, when you have that one chance and it falls to Morris unmarked, you expect him to try and hit the target. He had that chance.
That was a good save.
And that was your moment. Go 1-0 up there. Then they will sit back even more. They defend brave Warriors style, if you know what I mean. They've got that in them. And
I mean, Liverpool, they can tell you how difficult they are as a team to break down. They do defend,
So it's another chance. I mean, Old Trafford, even with United as they are now, they've still turned over a few teams at Old Trafford this season. I mean, United fans were disappointed because it's Luton at the end of the day, and they think, we're going to get a good 3-4-0 here easy. But they're well drilled. Edwards has got them really well drilled. They're not easy to open. No one smashed them yet, like I say. And
obviously, if you look at the chances and all that, I think Luton had 10 chances, 4 on target, and United had 15 chances and 4 on target. And unfortunately, for Luton, that Man United had that one lucky chance where it fell to Lindelof after deflecting off a player in the box, and they score from it.
Well, they did have a huge chance, with Højlund from about 3 yards out, and it was straight at Kabinski, but it was still a decent save. No, he was.
Is it his header?
No, he's kicked that in. It was a cross, and he knocked it with his foot, and it was a good, strong arm.
Yeah, I don't know how much Kaminsky knew of that. He happened to be in the right place, but he did make some good saves.
Well, going back to the Højlund thing, you're saying, they don't pass to him, this, that, and the other. But do you just think he's struggling with the league? Because Champions League, he's top goal scorer.
Yeah,
5 goals.
5 goals. Yeah.
I mean, they find the net there. I mean, there was in midweek against Copenhagen where Garnacho, I think it was him, shot, saved by the company, followed up and tapped it in when Garnacho should have just passed it to him anyway for the tapping anyway. Just shows like his selfishness there again. But
it just maybe a different atmosphere for a Champions League game.
I mean, as away from home again.
You look at the form. The form's not great in the Champions League, but he's scoring. But in the Premier League, Man United are what? They are the top rated at the moment in form, aren't they? They're the most informed team.
When that came out, it really surprised me. But then you look at the table and you're like, they are.
Yeah, before yesterday's game, before Liverpool kicked off yesterday, they were 3 points behind Liverpool. I was like, what the actual... They've lost 4 or 5 or whatever it is, but they've won. They've not drawn any games. That's how massive sometimes draws are. They really are like losses anyway, because... So they're not even that far off, and they're not even playing well, and like Moffy was saying last week, they always seem to be jammy still with the old classic.
They're still getting
always still something about them... Just something.
The thing is, are they going to keep riding that luck until eventually it clicks, or are they going to ride that luck until eventually it runs out? It's it's going to go one of 2 ways for them.
Like I say, they don't seem a team. They're very much individuals, but there are some very good individuals in there, and they can a bit of flair, little shot here and there. May well win you the game, but that luck will eventually run out, or they won't have a good game.
Yeah, they're in it for themselves. Kind of feel with them, aren't they? It's not all pulling in the same direction for the same end goal.
You're certain about that.
Like they're playing for themselves.
I mean, there was someone in attendance for that game who maybe were looking to take over. Big Sam was seen pictured next to Sir Alex Ferguson having a laugh.
Yep.
And I think Ferguson turned to him and said, "What would you do to sort these clowns out?" So, and he did say, "Pint of gravy, come on, rain in the bat, put it on the penalty spot, let them all slip over. No one can score against us in." But yeah, I was what's he doing there? Didn't realise they were good friends.
I saw those two.
I think it's Fergie loves wine. Obviously, Allardyce loves a pint of wine. So
bucket of wine.
But yeah, United still, when it comes down, they got the 3 points, and they're still getting points and creeping up the table.
Sounding about Big Sam, do you reckon he's kind of sniffing around Luton?
No. I genuinely think he's that arrogant anyway. He'd look at that score and go, "No, it's not for me." He doesn't want to ruin his reputation. He's still pissed off he went down with Sunderland. He generally thought he'd never get relegated with a club. He was always known as that go-to manager that never gets relegated. And then once he did with them, that's hurt his reputation. It was. I'm just going to act confident because you've now put doubt in my mind. But
that was
I'm
easy.
Just stick with it. But no, it was definitely Sunderland, all right? But no, yeah, Man U getting another 3 points there. And then we end up at Bournemouth. And I'm a shock. Well, again, shock. But Newcastle struggling again after Europe. Bournemouth run 2-0 winners and thoroughly deserved.
Yep, 100%.
And they dominated this game.
Yep.
Absolutely. I mean, and Dom Solanke, I'm really happy for him. I was gutted it didn't quite work out at Liverpool.
Yeah, I mean, I think they said he had 6 goals last season. He's now up to 7.
Yeah,
already. So
definitely the main man. A really good pick for FPL as well for points.
I think he's showing his size and his strength now. He's sort of like grown into himself a little bit more, and obviously, he's done score a few.
I mean, if it hadn't been for Pope.
Pope had
5 or 6.
Pope had a phenomenal game.
Yeah.
Absolutely phenomenal. He made some cracking saves. You know, I think it's weird because I think one of the ones that Solanke, I think it was his first one where he got beaten at his near post. I think I think he'll be disappointed.
Goalkeepers in near post are always going to be disappointed.
Yeah, because
but some of the other ones he pulled off, we'll allow that to be fair because you've saved 3 or 4.
But like you say, I mean, they could have potentially had 5 and 6, and you think against Newcastle, but I think they're obviously they've got a lot of injuries, haven't they? You know, there's a lot of key players missing for Newcastle. Well, just on the list, they're without Wilson, Manquillo, Guimaraes, Isaac, Botman, Anderson, Byrne, Murphy, Barnes, Target, and obviously Tonali.
Have they got any good players that are missing?
Well, like I say, I mean, Byrne.
No, I mean that's both their main strikers gone, and Wilson.
I think
and
defensively,
Isak's been a huge miss. Almiron obviously went off injured in this game, so he's joined that list recently. Yeah, Dan Byrne and that. But I mean, still credit. That wasn't the worst team to put out still for Newcastle.
No.
But again, lacking that physical, powerful goal scoring threat up front. I mean, Wilson's gonna be huge. Obviously, sometimes he's got in and out with injuries anyway. But Isak's huge.
Yeah.
I mean, they could have lost Trippier to injury as well because he went over and decided to have a word with the fans, get in their face about it.
Oh, we'll talk about that now anyway. But what do Newcastle fans expect? I mean, come on, you've been fighting relegation for the last couple of years. You've had Mike Ashley in charge. You're now owned by Saudis. You're in the Champions League. Come on,
mate. They've come all the way from Newcastle to Bournemouth. It's a long old slog. They're going to be a bit annoyed.
I mean, that bloke chatting to Trippier is a fucking gobshite. Honestly, I can't even believe he even questioned him. If I was Trippier, shouldn't even entertained it. And it's just ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous. Because I say Newcastle already outperform what they should be doing already. I mean, they've been taken over by Billion. They're ahead of where their schedule anyway.
Yeah, but expectations always rise, don't they? I think I've said before that Newcastle have gone about it in the right way. They, we've seen in the past where teams have come into like serious money, and they've chucked that money around at players that they're big names. They look flashy. They won't necessarily perform, but it sort of appeases the fans for a while, and it takes a few seasons and usually a few managers before things start to actually click. But I think, like you say, Newcastle seem like they're further ahead, and they haven't spent these huge sums of money. They haven't gone after these big flashy name players.
Well, they did. They did take a gamble on Tonali. Sorry, I had to get in there.
Every week that joke's going to come back.
It's not going to run out. I'm sorry.
You could be like a Celtic or a Rangers fan. You could have seen the Newcastle lineup. As a normal average fan, no, Newcastle out of their depth. Bournemouth are up for it. You ain't going to criticise the players for a performance. I mean, they huffed and puffed. They tried.
I mean, Anthony Gordon had a really good chance.
Yeah.
He was a.
Yeah, all the hard work he did, but it was the effort on goal that was the.
He took it too early, and had he thought about it and took a bit more time, he had still enough time to even take a few more touches and go at that one defender, and if need be, if he didn't get the space for his shot again, just slip it off to Longstaff, who pretty much had a tap in really, because he would have had the goalkeeper at that awkward angle as well. So it's a little thing like that would have been 1-1, I think, and that but he didn't take that opportunity again because he's still young lad, inexperienced. Maybe that will come later on. He might recognise that chance he had, but so Solanke did put them 2-0 from a corner, hit the post first, and then kind of a scorpion kick.
Yeah.
With the 1 foot as such, but that was checked for quite a while. So you just can't enjoy a goal anymore. But it did stand, and that was the least needed, really.
Yeah, I mean, when I watched that game back, I was really surprised. I thought, I wasn't expecting that kind of performance from Bournemouth. I thought they'd struggle a lot more, but yeah, they did really well, they deserved to come away with all 3 points.
The win didn't surprise me as much as the dominance. The dominance really surprised me because, like I say, they were up for it all day, and they kept cutting them open. But Pope, he's still poor side. He's man of the match. Yeah, that last
one where he ricocheted off the floor, he still managed to get hands
that
over.
was quality. So that could be up for saving.
How was he not in England squad?
I don't know. I've been a bit critical of some of his.
The only thing I can think of is just because he's ball playing skills.
Yeah, that's where he lets himself down, isn't it? Sometimes his positioning's not great.
I want the goalkeeper just to be a good goalkeeper, stopping goals from going in.
Well, he did that.
I mean, bear in mind, Eddie Howe isn't. His team like to build up from the back still, so he's still doing the basics in terms of.
Yeah, I mean, the squad did come out before that game, didn't it?
But no, he's still been all right. No, he's still better than. I think Ramsdale still in, is he?
Yeah, there's been
on the bench. Cheering on his mate Raya. Hey, well done, good save again, bro. Can't wait to chat you and train about that one.
Got to do something with his hands because he's not doing much else than sitting on the bench clapping.
You got Johnson. I mean, Johnson is number 1 at Palace now. He's okay.
I think he's got the most shot saves though, isn't he, Johnson?
It's Fodringham, isn't it? Because when he gets peppered,
he's
absolutely peppered.
I think it might be between those two then, but it'd be a close run thing.
No, it's Pickford's number 1. There's no doubt about that at the moment. He's definitely in Gareth's favourites. Shall we talk about that England squad? I don't probably know it. I just know we could probably all guess it anyway without looking at it. You're going to have your Maguire in there, your Calvin Phillips, your Trent in there for midfield, your Kieran Trippier. Who's he going for left back though? Is he going to play Trippier at left back as well? Has he added anyone in?
I'm not sure, to be honest. No.
I don't think he has. I mean, because you look at Tariq Mitchell.
The thing is, I mean, you look at the games that they're going to be playing, and it's difficult to find any real enthusiasm.
Well, there's no enthusiasm. We're already qualified, aren't we? So now would be a good time to probably look at Tariq Mitchell. I'll probably find out he's bloody Jamaican or something. Now we're representing them, isn't he? But yeah, I think Jordan Henderson will be in there again, won't he, as well?
Oh yeah, he is. Yeah.
So Rashford, what, 1 goal all season, and you got Sterling who's absolutely flying.
I don't know what it is about Sterling. Whether there's something.
There must be something gone on behind the scenes. They must have had words or something like that.
Something might have been said and it's not been reported, maybe. But yeah, it does seem a little bit strange.
There's a few absentees.
He was a key player. He was a key player for him in the past, wasn't he?
Yeah, absolutely. We got player of the tournament for us not long ago, or England's player of the year, didn't he? Sterling,
when he was getting asked about Sterling, I think he's quite abrupt with his sort of comments, about it. So maybe there is a bit more to it. But like you say, he's always on about picking players. I mean, Sterling's never let him down on the pitch and that. So
it's difficult to pick Jordan Henderson when he's playing in that league, in front of 700 fans a game or something like that. And
Jordan keeps it simple anyway. His game is very basic as such. He just keeps the ball moving. He just keeps the tempo going.
There's a lot of people asking.
Doesn't do anything silly. But he could have James Ward-Prowse in that position instead of Henderson if you want to give someone younger a bit of go. And then you got the danger of the free kicks. Probably best free kick taker in the world. Actually, set piece taker. We'll just call it that. But no, Gareth's set on his team. Although when he did come into the job initially, he was very much, I'm going to play players based on form. That's why he chose Mason Mount when he was playing for Derby County in the Championship. He looked at them players in the Championship, like a few just going, they're having a really good season.
You wouldn't pick him based on his Man United performance, would you?
No, but he's probably still in there. But no, as always, we're really buzzing about this England and the internationals. But then you go to Brazil, your Colombias and all that, they're buzzing for theirs. They absolutely love their international team. Right, we'll do the weekend predictions for when we return from the international break. I know it's a couple of weeks away, and a lot may well happen during that time. But we'll get them going. Like I say, exciting first game for a 12:30. I don't know. It's still on Sky. But Man City, and it is still on Sky. But Man City complained.
That's not what I'm looking at. But carry on.
Right, sorry, what I don't want you looking at. Yeah, Man City keeps complaining that Liverpool fans are troublesome. Well, every time we play Man United, it's still a 4:30 kick-off, or a late kick-off, 5:30. So I don't quite get that situation. But even so, it's a 12:30, which is frustrating. Another one for Liverpool. That'll be 13 now or whatever, isn't it? Double more than anyone else at least. I've gone for this one. Liverpool got dreadful run of results at the Etihad. Last time we won there may have been the Champions League, quite a few years ago now, 2018 maybe, just before we won the title, 2018, 2019. So with that, I do think Liverpool got a lot of similarities with Chelsea with attacking wise, but I'm going to go 3-2 City, which will be the first time I've not backed Liverpool to win so far this season.
Yeah, we just got to add as well that these are all pre-written predictions for once, so there's no chance of copying or plagiarism.
Well, especially to stop James on this one, because I did get fed up going back and looking and going, hearing him over, going, I like that one as well. Yeah, I'm going to go with that.
He sort of has.
He's just leant over and looked at yours, is he?
I can't read your.
Okay, we'll leave him till last then. But actually, no, we'll go you next to make sure.
I've gone for Liverpool 3-2.
Okay, you read my wrong over the table. It's upside down, by the way, mate.
It was over there. Moving swiftly on. Moffy.
Moffy?
I've gone for a 3-1 City win. I just think, obviously, you don't like the half-12s.
Well, we've won the last few, to be fair.
Yeah.
But they've been laboured. They've not been, classic Liverpool.
As much as you were going to give them a game, and City at the moment have been sort of bit,
we need to be perfect if we're going to win there. Like I say, Etihad's been very unlucky for Liverpool. We've had a few thrashings there as well. We'll score. I'm confident of that. Give them a game. I do think Liverpool do have a chance of winning. They definitely 100% need to score first. If we go behind, then it's not good for us. But that's all quite clear. Two of us fancying City. James being positive.
Yeah, I've got to keep the positivity.
Burnley at home against West Ham. We'll go with Moffy first on this one.
Unfortunately, I've gone for a 1-1. Seem to be after the initial break slow. Don't get the ball rolling, and Burnley, I don't know. I can see them sort of regrouping and just sort of being maybe a bit harder to beat. So go for 1-1. Offence has come out.
I mean, there could be a second just before. During this, because some teams like to rebuild during a international. I'm not going to call that alarm.
Oh, okay, I was going to say there could be a point
there might be one.
You
don't know.
We've all got to have one at some point this season.
I'm going to save mine for a little bit longer. It's still quite long. No one's been sacked yet. It's taking us time. But what are you gone with, James?
I've gone for West Ham 2-0.
2-0. So I've gone West Ham 2-1. So had you heard mine, you'd have probably gone with that.
Next.
But again, like I say, I still think West Ham, they got more. It probably may well be. I'm not going to say it. Yeah. That'll put massive pressure on Company, because that'll be another loss at home. That's me just saying that. That may well be. But Luton at home against Crystal Palace.
I've backed Palace for this 3-0.
3-0.
I think it'd be that'd be the biggest defeat for Luton so far this season, and I think Eze looked really sharp, and I think he could cause them a lot of problems. So,
although Elise and Eze will be back, they should be quite fresh. I've actually gone with 2-1 Luton.
Oh, okay.
I just fancy him. For this one. They've put up some. They played Liverpool, Man U, got up some good displays. At home again, maybe a little bit refreshed, a little bit rested, and maybe it's always a shock. So I just think that may well be it.
Yep, I have followed you on that one. I've gone 1-0 Luton. I just think the home advantage, at home they seem to be still organised and strong. They seem to have a bit more expression, if you know what I mean. They sort of move the ball around a bit more, and I think as much as Eze come back and boosted Palace away from home, different kettle of fish in my eyes.
Yeah, I think they've actually got a really poor record so far.
And I just think Luton, home advantage, and I think it'll be a tight game. I don't think there'll be many goals in that one.
And then this will be a cracker. I mean, this is a 3 o'clock kickoff as well, bear in mind. Newcastle at home against Chelsea. I mean, of all the times Newcastle, I'm shocked there's not half-5 for a start for Newcastle because they've nearly had every single half-5 showing. This one you would have wanted on telly, wouldn't you, really?
Oh, yeah, 100%, yeah.
But what you gone with that one, James?
I've backed Chelsea for this one based on the last couple of games. Obviously, international break, but yeah, I've got them down for a 2-1.
Moffy?
Well, I did have 2-1. I want to go 3-1 now.
No, you had them written down.
No,
you stick with what you want, mate.
No, I just think Newcastle are a bit of a wounded animal at the moment. As much as they needed the international break, I still think Chelsea will just be a bit more. I don't know. They're just going to be there. Hopefully, they can continue.
Well, I think both teams will be there.
Well, I don't know.
Get called off.
I don't know. Trippier might not be there. You never know.
Well, be in with the crowd.
He'll be having a ruck somewhere.
No, I mean, again, Chelsea, like I say, been so positive the last 2 games. I do think they'll keep it up. But I love Newcastle with the 2-2 draw. So I've gone 2-2 draw again here. I'm sticking to my guns with those. Hopefully Newcastle might have 1 or 2 faces return. Chelsea again, those levels are now expected. At 3 o'clocks are different as well. I just think 2-2. So I'm going with that one. And plus a lot of the Chelsea players are, South American. They always arrive back late. That does take a big effect on them. They don't get their training sessions in beforehand. Like
You put a lot more thought into your guesses than I do.
Then we've got Forest Brighton. Moffy?
I've gone for a Forest 2-1 win. I think at home, Forest, they're just a different animal. What's the matter, James?
I've also gone for a Forest 2-1 win. I think, Forest are going to get 2 penalties because Zervi doesn't like referees in this country, so they're going to punish him.
There'll be a red card earlier on.
For him.
No, I mean, no one's back in Brighton, which is quite shocking. I've gone for a 1-1 draw. I'm sitting on the fence yet again. Like I say, because of Forest's home records so far this season, they've not lost in. I don't know the stats completely, but I know it's a long run now. They're doing very well at home, but I do think Brighton will still get something from it because I still think they're too good not to, especially with a little bit of a rest. So there's that one. This will be a good game, I think. Sheffield United at home against Bournemouth. I've got this one. I'll go first on this one. I've got this one as a 2-1 away win for Bournemouth.
I've gone slightly more ambitious with a 3-1 for Bournemouth. I think, obviously, last game against Newcastle, obviously, there'll be a bit of a rest in there for them. But
I mean, they play really well, and they've got some nice football about them. I mean, Iola, whatever his name is, the manager, they do play nice football with them, and I think that game would have given them a lot of confidence. Sheffield United still, it's a long injury list. Although they'll be at home, it's still a 3 o'clock kickoff. I mean, that doesn't affect that crowd. They're always up for it at home. I just think, Bournemouth's still got a little bit too much guile for Sheffield United. So, they'll run out 2-1 winners.
Yeah, I wish I knew there was a 2-1 as well. I'd just like to say.
You might as well go 3-1 then.
Oh, yeah, I agree. I mean, Sheffield United are going to make it hard no matter what anyways, and be stubborn. But I just think the attacking front of Bournemouth, I think they're just really keeping it going at the moment, and hopefully they can sort of build the momentum and keep that run going. So.
No, all 3 of us going with that one. What about Brentford v Arsenal, James?
I've gone for a 2-2 draw.
2-2 draw?
Fence. First sit on the fence. Yeah.
I've gone for a 3-2 Arsenal win. Ramsdale will be in goal for that one, hence obviously Ray will be tired when he because it's loan.
Well, yeah, actually you're right on that. I didn't even think about that.
Yeah. So I think with Ramsdale coming in, no match practice.
Is it Ramsdale in the England squad?
No, what he's talking about is Raya, because he's on loan.
Brentford.
He's only on loan.
Oh, sorry, yeah, of course. Yeah.
They've got a deal in place. If they want to trigger
you said
it.
because he'd flown.
I'm sure YouTube would correct that one for me.
Now I've gone Brentford 3-1. Yeah, absolutely, because Ramsdale can go. Ramsdale.
Ramsdale.
Good old Ramsdale. But no, I was still impressed with Brentford, and I just think Arsenal might be caught out, just a bit sluggish. I just got a feeling. I don't know why, but so I was impressed with Brentford. At home as well, they're good. They love a high press. Arsenal do like to dilly-dally at the back. I was thinking more Rayo, to be honest, dilly-dallying on the ball, but obviously Ramsdale can get caught out with that as well. But yeah, I think that might be one of the shocks of the weekend, along with Luton. Next up, this will be a good cracker as well for Sunday. Spurs at home against Villa. We're going to choose this one. You should choose.
I've gone 3-1
Go on,
Villa.
there you go.
But it all depends on. I mean, obviously, back to Romero and Van de Ven.
He's changing it.
No, imagine the game that Moffy forgot to add on the list.
You obviously weren't listening.
Yeah, you do talk a lot of rubbish. So I have to filter some of it out.
I think Udogie will be back, and I reckon Maddison will be back for him. But yeah, I just.
Maddison might be yet, will he? He's out to New Year.
Is he?
Yeah.
Oh, bloody hell. I
He's
didn't
out
think he
for
was
a
that
while.
bad.
You know, he said, "I'll see you all next year" on his tweet the other day. Yes, it's worse than they thought of him. Van
That's
de
his
Ven maybe
ankles.
will be better, but no, I think it's still a hammy.
I thought he went off for his ankle.
Both.
Well, anyway, I've gone 3-1 Villa. I'd like to see Villa sort of turn their away form around and be a bit better.
That is the thing. Like I say, Villa haven't been great away from home, but yeah, I've gone 2-1, and I do think they'll get it, but only because that'll be free on the bounce for Spurs. I could have probably gone with the draw, but I've done enough of those so far. Villa side should have too much with all these injuries. So yeah, I expect them to capitalise on it.
Yeah, I've gone for Villa as well, but I've gone for 2-0.
Yeah, couldn't see, did you?
Should we might as well just say
I don't know
Everton
why.
and Man United won at the same time.
Right, ready? 3, 2, 1.
2-1 to Everton.
We all done
Who's
it.
looking?
Oh wow.
Mine was all on my phone, so it's not me cheating.
And his was over there, out of view of the camera.
Well, we've all got a good feeling
Yeah.
from the earth. Let's hope it comes through. But I just think Everton, flying at the moment.
Yeah.
He's got a good bit, and at home as well. It's nice for him. I say they wouldn't want this break to come, but at least they come back to a home game. And man, you have got a good record at Goodison, but I say that they've always thinking back. Goodison's always been fired up for United at home. But, they're never lacking in support there when it comes to this game, and they'll be fighting. I could really see, it's to be a really good game actually. Look forward to this one.
It's one where Man United's luck runs out. I think coming up against a team that's confident,
Fiery,
and
strong,
Yeah, I think that they won't get no luck out of that one.
2-1 for me. Yeah, we're all 2-1, all of us. And then Fulham Wolves to finish off. I think that's Monday night, 8 o'clock kick-off. I've just 1-1. Couldn't split them. I do think, because it happened, that's pretty even. I think they're both really even. So 1-1.
I've backed Wolves 2-0.
2-0.
Yeah, Fulham aren't.
After that Gary O'Neill speech.
They're not doing
I just think
they're not
after
doing
Gary
much of
O'Neill's
anything.
speech,
Yeah.
it was such a good speech that they're going to let him down. It's as simple as that.
I thought you could say they're going to win the league.
I did go one. The thing is, I was more Wolves than anything, but Fulham a lot more decent at home, and I say I couldn't split them, so I had to go 1-1. I think Wolves as well will still cause a threat, and I think Fulham will still get something out of it. They're a different team than say at home. They seem to be a bit more calmer, and they play a bit more expression and such. So, but yeah, 1-1.
No, that's the lot then, lads.
Come on, the results I haven't copied.
Thanks for joining us again. Really appreciate it. Thanks to everyone who's listened, and we won't be recording this coming Monday because obviously international duties tend to when we have a break. But we'll be back the week after. Don't worry about that. Thanks for joining us.